I'm Sarah Jane Guild and I'm a scientific consultant with AD Instruments. I'm going to show you how to use the configurator system, that's the configurator, and ConfigSoft to configure your Kaha Sciences telemetry system. The first thing that you're going to have to do before you even plug in your configurator to your computer is to install the drivers for the configurator. Once you've done that and you plug in the configurator, you should get a nice green light on the front to show that the configurator is communicating with the computer. Once you've done that, you can start ConfigSoft and away we go. When we open ConfigSoft, we come to a home screen and you can see we've got choices for the RAT telemeter, the SmartPad, mouse telemeter or the T-Base, plus the Knowledge Center here, which takes you to a website-based Knowledge Center. To configure your RAT telemeter, if we go to the RAT telemeter tab in ConfigSoft, you can hit search for telemeter and you can get a list of all the active telemeters in the area. So here we've got the telemeter on channel setup. Setup is the default channel that we ship all of our SmartPads and telemeters on. So when you receive your telemeter or SmartPad, they should both be on the setup channel. If we double click on the list, it will automatically enter the serial number and the current channel into these boxes, or you can do it manually. Then there are a few options for configuring your telemeter. You can change the channel of the telemeter, and you need to do this to move onto one of the 40 recording channels to be able to do your experiment. So if we change this telemeter to channel 5, we can then push go, just double checks that that is indeed what we want it to do, and hit go. And it comes back and confirms that the telemeter has indeed been changed to channel 5 and that it will operate with the SmartPad on channel 5. The other options or facilities available within the RAT telemeter page is to put the telemeter into safe mode. So we would do this if you were not recording from your telemeter for a while, or if you'd finished an experiment and you were putting it away for storage. You can put it into safe mode, so essentially that turns the telemeter off until it is placed back in a SmartPad field. We have options for the optogenetics telemeter setup, and then we have these diagnostics options on this side. So running the telemeter diagnostics, if we run it, we get an option as to whether to save a log file or not. If we save a log file, that's really helpful to send to support for troubleshooting, but you do have to run it for a minimum of 2 minutes. So we choose no, just to view the information on the screen, and it tells us the serial number, the firmware of the current telemeter, the battery level. This battery is fully charged, so it's 100%, so it says the battery level is acceptable. If this turns to a red cross, it indicates that the battery level has usually dropped below 20 or 30%. A green tick under charging indicates that it's effectively charging on a SmartPad set to the same channel. And then these last three vary depending on the model of your telemeter. So in this case we have a green tick next to the pressure sensor 1, but there's no pressure sensor 2 on this telemeter, so we have a red cross. Likewise, it's not an oxygen telemeter, so there's a red cross next to the potentiostat as well. So there's nothing to worry about depending on your model of your telemeter. And then we just stop the diagnostics by hitting the stop diagnostics button. So we've got the telemeter on channel 5, so now we need to put the SmartPad on the same channel. Unlike the telemeter, the SmartPad doesn't broadcast its data all of the time, and so you need to tell it to broadcast data. So we need to enter the serial number of the SmartPad, which in this case is 13528. If we're not sure what channel that SmartPad was on, we could search for it, and here we find it on channel setup. So to configure your SmartPad, you have a choice of changing the channel. So we're going to change this channel to channel 5, the same as the telemeter. We could also disable or enable the charging field if necessary. You might choose to disable the charging field if you needed to use your SmartPad near metal. For example, if you had your RAT in a chamber of some sort that you couldn't charge in, but you could still record your data from. So to change the SmartPad channel in this case, we just hit go. We confirm that that is what we want to do. The SmartPad will flash red while that's happening, and then we'll get a confirmation that the channel has been changed to channel 5. And now the SmartPad and the telemeter are communicating again. So also available on the SmartPad tab of ConfigSoft is the ability to set your SmartPad up for co-housing. Now, co-housing would either set it up as a primary SmartPad or a secondary SmartPad using the options here. We also have a diagnostics feature for the SmartPad. And if we start the diagnostics, we have an option to save the log file or not. If we save it, it must record for at least 2 minutes. So if you're just wanting to look at the data, we choose no. And it tells us that the LED will flash and we won't be able to record data from the SmartPad while we are running our diagnostics. So the diagnostics for the SmartPad tells us the serial number, the firmware version, whether the charging field is enabled or disabled. Co-housing, in this case, it's a normal SmartPad, so co-housing is disabled. If it was enabled, it would also tell us whether it was the primary channel or the secondary channel. And the atmospheric pressure sensor within the SmartPad, temperature and power consumption. To stop diagnostics, you just hit stop.